You're bundled up?
I am. It got chilly.
I think it did. Tomorrow's gonna be chillier.
Yeah.
Winston's like, this is the best thing ever.
He's like, I've been waiting for this. I suffered through this hot summer. He's like, it can go down about 20 more degrees and I'll be happy. Levi also.
What does Levi got? Oh, he's eating some tape.
Oh, buddy.
Where'd you get that? Where'd you get that?
He's like, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, you don't need to eat that. That's not good for you. It's fibrous, but it's not good for you.
Well, let's start at the chicken village down here.
Here, Katie, I'm gonna have to do one thing. There we go. Okay. That's better. Microphone issues.
Microphone issues. We've been having a lot of sound issues lately.
We really have been. In the Kraemer Life videos, a lot of the fast forwarding and music that you guys are seeing is because
the audio didn't work.
Yeah. It's, I don't know what's going on. Sometimes it works great, sometimes not so much. Uh-oh, Kinsley.
What?
Well, there was a chick out last time. I thought she was going after a chick again.
She's fine.
Okay, I know she's fine now, but I didn't know. So I was saying, uh-oh.
So these, we just thought we'd talk a little bit about winterization since it's obviously getting cooler.
And that's been some of the questions as part of our Q&A.
So what we've done to winterize these coops down here was to put the bales of hay. All of these birds are fully feathered out, so they really don't need a lot. You just have to make sure that they can get out of a drafty area. So that's why we put the hay blocks kind of where we did, or straw bales, I guess. And then they have a tarp covering the back and then all of the sides in that back one. And they can get behind the straw bales and have a completely blocked in area, or they can get up a little higher if they need to.
And most of our wind actually comes from the west, from that direction. So the tarp does a pretty good job anyway, but these north and south wall straw bales provide an extra level of, brings it to the next level.
And so we shouldn't have any issues with any of these ones. Plus there's a large amount of birds in each of these enclosures. They still do have access to out here. They get good sunlight as well, so when it does warm up. So that's what we've done over here. In addition, we'll play around with different waterers. And we just did the feeder, so they're on full feed now, meaning they have access. Oh, look, our free rangers figured it out quickly. So everyone has their feed buckets and this area.
For the water, during heavy or long duration of cold, they will freeze. And these watering nipples that we're using, they'll freeze up too. Last year I wanted to try something where we would take a solar panel and a 12-volt hot water heater element, hook it up to the solar panel, put it in about 6 inches of sand, and throughout the day the solar panel will heat the element will heat the sand, and the sand will retain heat through the night, and the water bucket goes on top of the sand, heating the water. So I want to try at least one of those this year and see if that works, because that'd be cool if we can keep
it from freezing.
Keep our water from freezing, yeah.
Yeah. We didn't have a big issue last year.
Yeah, there was a few days where
the top would freeze and we'd have to break it open, but it wasn't, I mean, we check on the birds pretty frequently. Even when it's cold, we just bundle more. And so again, these are all fully feathered. They're all big enough. So same thing with this one. This is our free rangers, and they won't actually be confined. We didn't do the hay bales for them because they've been on the property over, well, almost the entire time. Some of them have, but most of them are at least a year old, if not older. So not worried about these guys, these ladies. They've done well. Somebody did ask about the new nesting box. This was in today's video. It's metal. Won't it get hot during the summer and cold during the winter?
Probably.
Yeah, not sure. It's brand new, so we just tried it out. We'll definitely give y'all feedback on whether or not we like it. We know it wasn't the easiest to install or put together, I guess. Assembly was not super simple.
It wasn't like terribly difficult. It was cumbersome.
Yeah.
It was awkward just because the placement of the where you have to put the screws and the bolts through the holes and holding the pieces together. Definitely a two-person job.
Yep.
Or take your time if you're boys and girl. What is going on over here?
Just
Come
digging
on.
in the mud.
Come on now. Come on. Let's not eat the
Let
mud.
dogs be dogs.
No, I don't want dogs to be dogs. Let me tell my dog not to do anything, to do what I don't want them to do.
Just every video you.
I know, because every video she's eating things I don't want her to eat.
Okay. The AV2ins, the 2 roosters are going to be processed here this week.
This one.
Richard in red, and then Blue back in the other AV2N. He'll get processed as well. And then these little ones, for her, I think she's fine with all the body heat of the babies, and they have a completely enclosed, no airflow, so they can get away.
No, in fact, I'm going to go close the airflow. So I have the.
Oh, you have it vented right now?
I have it vented for the warm weather.
Oh yeah.
Soup. Done. Sorry, Mama. Sorry, Mama.
So those guys, pretty simple. The OG coop we're not using right at the moment. We've got some repairs to do to it. It's gonna be we'll probably move it so that these free rangers don't have access to it.
That's a good idea.
Just so they don't revert back to it. We want to try to keep them all together. This is the first time they've been all in the same, that they've all fit in the same enclosure together. And it'd be nice to kind of keep them. And we're trying to have them on this side of the property. Next we'll talk about, I guess really quick we can mention the pigs. We're not doing anything for the pigs. This is their second full winter on the homestead.
Last year they had a shelter last year. They had 2 shelters we put back to back, and they didn't really sleep in it all that much. They didn't sleep back to back specifically, and we put down hay. This year we'll put down straw, which has more insulating factor than hay does. Hay will absorb all of the moisture and stuff from the ground. Hay does not, and it has a hollow center. Straw does not, has a hollow center. Give it a little bit more insulation factor, plus it has a little bit of wax to it. So we'll do that. I think we need to buy 1 or 2 more bales of straw.
Yeah, I think we need a few more, yeah.
So, and then I'll put that underneath one of the evergreens, one of the cedars that they like to lay under, so that way they can keep away from the wind and the rain, and they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Plus they're growing in all their hair.
Yeah, they also grow hair. They're a pig that gets very, very long hair. And speaking of hair, these are hair sheep, not wool sheep. We've gotten several questions on why we don't shave them and what's up with the 2 that have capes.
Yeah.
So Blanche and Sophia, they have never fully shed that top layer.
They're mohawk. For
whatever reason. And the other 2 have, Rose and Dorothy, have always been able to shed theirs. So hair sheep should naturally shed all of their coats and then grow it back for the winter time. They do have a shelter. We do have it filled with straw so they can bed down in it. And we will also move them to an area that has some wind blocks. But again, these sheep do not require you to house them or put them in barns or anything. Again, this is their second winter on the homestead. This is what we did last year, and they were completely fine.
Yeah, they were totally
And they
chill.
were out and about in the freezing cold, walking around eating. So we'll just keep them very well fed. We do have hay, and we have some other, as we've been processing our plants, we've been stocking up and feeding them a lot, and then also drying out some stuff for them as well.
Yeah, this is our first year trying out the drying of things.
Yeah.
Comfrey, pumpkin leaves,
Sunflower,
and the leaves. No leaves on the sunflowers, right?
No, I think we fed all of those
Yeah.
already. Oh, What is that?
What is this all about?
Oh, they're just playing. Oh boy, oh. You guys are being silly. Kinsley. Oh.
You guys are crazy. You guys play so rough.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Oh, they're on top of their food bucket.
Oh yeah, nice.
How do I get into it? I will rip this lid off. So these ones, we have been doing, oh, I guess I forgot to mention that down there too. We're doing deep bedding in all of our chicken to also help keep the moisture down and give them some insulation from the ground so it's a little bit warmer for their feet. But these ones will all have 24/7 food, and they have a tarp completely blocking the wind from them. Again, where the wind comes, these guys, we had these hoop coops. We didn't have these hoop coops last winter. Nope. We built these in the spring, summer. Mm-hmm. So this will be a test up here. We chose not to put the straw bales in these ones because they are pretty covered. They're half covered on the sides. And then the fact that they're all together, it really does reduce the amount of wind that goes through them. Mm-hmm. Yep. And same thing, we're gonna have to watch the water and see. Yeah,
I think water is gonna be really the only issue. And
it's more pain for us than...
Last year we had, I would say 2 weeks of really cold weather. The coldest it got was like it got down to 14 degrees. Mm-hmm. And there was a 5-day period of prolonged 20 degrees. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't really get really, really, really cold. Mm-hmm. It doesn't go to zeros, doesn't go negatives. At least it hasn't historically.
Yeah. Tomorrow's supposed to be record-breaking lows for this time of year, and it's like going to be in the 20s. Yeah.
So, and plus, most of our birds are pretty cold hardy anyway.
Yes, that was a huge factor. That also, when we looked at the types of breeds that we were getting, we didn't get ones that... We got cold hardy and heat hardy birds that are very tolerant, I guess. These coops up here, we're gonna have to watch how this watering system works, because this is the only one we have that's on the PVC. So this one, if any, has the most...
This one will freeze.
Ability to freeze.
This one, I have zero faith in it. Not of it doing well. We'll just have to convert them back over to a bucket. Yeah.
We have enough buckets that we can do that.
We thought we were going to do this for the watering system for all of the coops, where there is going to be a bucket on the outside and then PVC piping to the inside with the water nipples. So I didn't really design this one thinking about how to clean this bucket and take it out when I need to. I mean, right now we just fill up a 2.5 gallon bucket that Winston's drinking out of, come over and put water into it. So it works, but there's no way to disconnect it. It's all glued in. So I'd have to have a disconnect right here, which I can put in, so that way we can take this off and clean it. But then we decided, why don't we just take the water nipples and put them on the outside of the 5-gallon buckets and just do it that way. And so that's
much easier.
So that's what we're trying. We'll see if we like it. If not, we can adapt.
Yeah, and for these ones, again, we're doing deep bedding, but the tarp, as you can see, completely covers 3 sides. And so and then you also have the wooden door covering some of the front. So it does significantly reduce the wind flow, and the wind comes from the backside of how these are. Yep. And it has to go through all the woods and everything. So these guys don't get a ton of wind up here. Surprisingly, you would think they do, but the directions that our wind comes, most of the time, they're pretty covered.
And all of their roosts are above the wind line from the bottom. You can see there's a gap down there where wind can come through, but they'll be well above it, and it stays. These tarps are, they collect some heat.
Yeah, it does get warm in there.
for the summer, it's not so great. For the winter, I think they'll be just fine.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things we're just trying to do is for the roosters, getting the nipples in the buckets with the nipples so that they're not dipping their combs and their long wattles into the water and freezing and potentially getting frostbite.
It's a good point.
Yeah, that's like the biggest thing for like this guy right here, when he drinks, see how long his face is, same with the Rhode Island. So the quicker we can switch those out, then the better. That's kind of what we're doing to help winterize for our animals. And again, it's a pretty mild winter here. It's not horrible, but just want to make sure they can get out of the elements and get out of the wind. That's the biggest thing for them. The chickens specifically. Just you? You're the only one out by yourself, young lady?
Yep, just the cream lake bar.
Are you just looking over like, why am I not with those girls that look just like me?
The cream lake bars remind me of road runners.
Yes, they're so funny. These ones are all ready.
Yep.
Oh, can you get up? You gonna be able to jump up there? You could do it.
I clipped her wings
Yeah.
pretty good, so she may not be able to.
Maybe that's why she's out. She's like, this stinks.
Yep.
And we can also close that flat more. We had it opened quite a bit for the summer because, like we said, these tarps can get pretty warm. And we debated taking them on and off. But I got it.
Yeah, right now we have the flaps folded upward, so it creates this V shape here, so wind can come through. Just clip 2 zip ties, bring them down.
Oh, she
got
made it.
Up just fine. Yeah. Sorry. I'll leave.
Getting them all riled
up. What
up.
are you doing? What are you doing in my space?
Oh, what did Winston find? Is that Levi? It's hard to tell from just the butts. It's Levi.
Probably a rabbit.
Oh yeah, oh no. Now our one-eyed one got down.
Yeah. So overall, I think we feel pretty mostly ready for winter.
They're all confused now. They're like, what's happening?
Yeah. Everybody's getting down.
Isn't that one a beautiful bird?
That really is.
We have no idea. It's weird because she doesn't have the feathery feet, but she's definitely one of Richard's. She's a Brahma something. She's one of our barnyards. All of these are barnyards, and they look so different from each other.
Except for the male, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I was just talking about the hens, yeah. And then the gray one up there, that's in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Outside. That's an olive egg or Brahma mix. And then the other black one up here. So I think they're Karens with the dark. She's the only one that has dark feet. But anyway, yeah.
You got cold quick.
It did.
It really just changed. Looking forward to in a few days when it warms up. It's going to be amazing.
Go back to the 50s and 60s. I'd be down with 60-degree weather for a few more weeks.
Yes.
I'd be okay with that.
Me too.
Oh.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, hopefully that answers some of y'all's questions about what we're doing to winterize the animals and why we don't shave the sheep. We may clip it though. I'm thinking this summer, or after winter, if Blanche and Sophia's doesn't fully come off this time, I'm thinking if we can catch them, just tie a rope around them and see if we can clip or at least shear a little bit of them. We'll see. They're the 2 wiliest of the 4. That's probably the other reason we haven't really tried.
If they're around.
If they're around.
Yeah.
I do want to breed them all. Nate's kind of.
Oh, you want to breed all 4 of them?
I want to breed all 4 of them.
Oh, all right.
Hey, sometimes the offspring are better than the parents, and sometimes they're just like them. We'll see.
All right.
They're all sisters of some sort. I think they all have the same dad. So. Cool.
Yep. Okay, we will be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be really cold tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's. They're just so funny.
Just holds onto his butt.
It's like, I got you. You're not going anywhere.
Jesus.
Oh, they just pull on each other. So crazy.
Oh, he has a stick.
Yep.
He's like, I want the stick. Oh, it's a pumpkin stem.
Oh,
It's the best pumpkin stem.
they love pumpkin stems.